Take a moment, good opportunity to just scan the periphery of your field. Get in the practice of scanning this, checking the quality. If I drop into Stillpoint and I feel that quality is like, oh, that feels good, then I'm clear. I don't have to go looking for stuff. If I check into Stillpoint, it's a little bit kind of like this, then I know I got to get in and do a little work here. So I get in, I do a little cleanup, and anything need to open? Well, great, thank you. That's nice to see you here. Thank you, and unwind. You can really cultivate space. We call it cultivating. Cultivating your space, your room, your home, your car. I just want to go through this because it's a little bit different than resting. You know, one way is to rest in the field and you're resting in the field. And I tell many of the people that are sharing lasers as emissaries and practitioners, when you're working with your space, whether it's your office, whether it's where you have your massage table, whether it's in your home, whether it's another business, maybe it's another business in your office, whatever space I'm going to be in a lot, I want to make sure that the space is really charged. And to do that, it's really easy. Just open up your field. I often put the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and I just kind of rest there. Often my eyes will be open, and I'll just be kind of holding the space, opening the space. For me, I can feel when I'm putting, in this space here, the reference of filling a space. I kind of hold until I feel it kind of fill up. Like I used to, for years, we did expos. And when I do expos, I'd sit in the booth. Before we set anything up, I'd sit. I'd just hold Stillpoint. I'd rest, but it's almost a little bit like holding it back a little bit. Can you feel that a little bit? Kind of holding it. Just holding that space between the breath. Usually I'd take 10, 15 minutes, and then I'd feel like it kind of opens. I do a lot when I come to an event like this, before people come. Either in the room or I do it wherever I am, and I just kind of hold the space wherever we are, and I just kind of, it's dropping into Stillpoint, holding Stillpoint until, the first place to start doing that is with your field. Just drop into Stillpoint and hold it there until the field opens. When I get on an airplane, first thing I do is I sit on the airplane and I just kind of drop in. I just open it up. When I go into a new place, if I go into a room and there's a party going on or something, I go in slow and I rest there and I make sure my field opens up in there. I don't care about my body getting into a room or arriving in a room. I care about my being getting into the room. When we do that, what we're really doing, there's ether here. And when there's a lot of thinking, when there's a lot of linear thinking and emotion, it shuts down the ether. All that stuff shuts down that high-spinning energy. That's why a lot of yogis, mystics, they like to go to the mountains. You go into nature, ether is vibrant there, negative ions, high-spinning energy. You go there, you want to sit. You go to the ocean, you just want to dissolve. Well, anywhere you go, any space you go in, any place, just resting here, you're taking this whole energetic space. When you use this perception, you take the whole space and delete it. Suddenly, high-spinning energy starts to happen. Can't say this enough. People right now on our planet are going around and compressing the space everywhere with the concerns and the stress and the cell phones, into this, into this. I tell you, using this principle of neutrality in your life, it will have huge impact on everything, whether it's a business you're running, whether it's how you work with people, everything. You invite neutrality into your life, in your space, and you will see everything around you change. People will come to you. People will want whatever you have. Why? Because people are longing for neutrality on this planet. Do people want to go through the probes? Yeah? All right, we go through the probes. So for new folks, there are 3 primary wavelengths that we use with the laser. And our approach that we're going to take with the probes today is we're just going to vary. When I pick using probes, I do it the same way we went through with the programs a moment ago. People often ask me, well, how do you pick which thing you're using? And almost always I go to the main unit first. When I work on my body or other people, I almost always go to the main unit first. And then I go through those different programs. And as I do it, I'm looking for the effect. I often start in the field. Well, I do the same thing with the probe. So if I use the main unit on a situation, maybe if I'm not feeling great or some situation, and my field doesn't totally open, the next thing I might try is the red probe. The red probe, the red wavelength, is very stimulating. It's very good for activating, regenerating. It's really good for the blood. It's good for purification. I'm working right now over a point. I'm going to, as we go through the probes, show you some of the points that I tend to do when I use each one. I'm doing a point right here, which is a point. There are 2 main meridians in the Eastern acupuncture view. They're called the 2 great rivers. One goes up and down the front of the body. The other one goes up and down the back. The back one's called the Governor Meridian. The front one is the Conception Meridian. This point right here is a Conception Meridian point. This one right here is a Governor point. These are 2 really easy points to do. If you want to strengthen, they say that when these 2 meridians are strong and open, they nourish. If you don't have the probe, use the main unit. I'm on Unity right now. You could do quantum. I often do this on quantum. Absolutely. Basic protocol when I'm using probes is if you have one, use it. There's no protocol, and if you don't have one, use the main unit. Use what you have. If you don't have the laser, use your field. Use Stillpoint. The key is to always have empowerment in every moment, to have the resource to, if you don't have a laser, I've been places where I didn't have a laser. Well, get in the shower, put the water on really hot, like almost to the point of being too hot, and get it over your adrenals, get it over your thymus. Works really good. When I take a shower, I'm getting it really hot, and I'm right over the glands. That heat's energy. tip of the nose on the red probe. This is one of my favorite points. I tell you, if I had to pick one point that's one of the most powerful things when it's really needed, this might be one of them. There's 2 or 3 of them. This is right up there. And if I feel like I'm coming down with something and feels, then I just go like this. There are some powerful points inside the nose. And when I do these points in the nose, what I'm doing is I'm basically pointing the light around. I'm just looking. I'm going really slow, and I'm looking for a point like right there. I find a point right there, and suddenly everything dissolves. Occasionally I'll point the light right up in there. That goes right into the pineal and pituitary glands. This is some of the most powerful alchemy. You can go around the outside of the nostril, really powerful points. Right on the inside of the nostril. I tell you, many native cultures the world over understood ingesting things through the nose. High-spinning things, frankincense, myrrh, different sacred botanicals. Why? Inside the nose, you feed right into the pineal and pituitary. This is a lot of the work that I do on my own body, I do right here. Right around the nose, right around here, the base. Anyone else doing that? Does that feel good for anyone else? Play around. Try some of the different programs. You want to purify? I saw this device that works on purifying the blood. Well, I've been saying for years, right here, you do this a few minutes every day, 3-4 minutes, you're purifying your blood. You're opening up the heart meridian, the lung meridian. I'll often also work right up in here. There's some great points up in here. Use this probe. This is a great probe. When I use this probe, when I do sessions with the probe, I kind of dig in. Facial rejuvenation. You want to work on your face? Keep it simple. Open the field first, and then go let the field guide you. There's all sorts. There's only so many points. You don't need to be. A lot of people don't do it because they're not sure where the points are. Well, guess what? They're all right in here. Really, you want to keep it simple to start? Go around the outside of the face for starters. Then after you go around the outside, go around everything else. Go around the eyes. Around the nose. Go around the mouth. There's some great points in the ears. I'll often, you can do whole sessions working on the hands. There are all sorts of points in the organs. Right away, doing the hands, I'm like, wow, that's totally blissful. You could go like that, work over the whole area. Do different points in the hands, the feet. When I use this probe, I often use it a little bit like a massage tool. I think I'm lasering the microphone. I went right to it. I think it needs to unwind a little bit. When I do points, I'll often go in a little bit. I'll dig into points. Just a little bit. Kind of like it feels good. I go in as though kind of, just so it feels good a little bit. Often I'll use the red probe off the body a little bit. You can see it works great up along the spine. So that's the red probe. Great over the organs. Great for dental situations. I go right up inside the mouth. You want to cover it with a little saran wrap or... you're familiar with acupressure points or acupuncture points. There are tons of them, and the red probe works great on them. Next one, infrared. I don't use the infrared a whole lot. It's a bit more stimulating than the red. It's really good. This is what I used years ago. I had bone loss above a front tooth. This is what I used over that area. Even when I do it now, every so often I do it right up in this area above this front tooth. Infrared goes much deeper. The red's for the surface. The infrared beam shoots like this. It shoots way into the body. Can't see the infrared. The infrared's not so visible. Studies show infrared's great for bone, deeper seated things. It's energizing. The violet probe is really energizing. It's really good for deep seated injuries. I messed up my jaw when I was a kid, so I often use it up in here. It goes really nice far into the bone. New studies show that infrared lasers in another company showed they can regenerate neurons in the brain. You know, I didn't get into this at this seminar yet. All we're doing with lasers is sending energy into the cells. Energy goes in, and what does it do? Well, it energizes. The cell is like everything else in the planet and the universe. Everything works on the principle, if it has energy, it does what it's here to do. Everything. Stars, galaxies, elements, trees, plants, people, cell phones, cars, homes, cities. All same principle. Economics. If there's energy, they produce. No energy, no produce. Why do we use lasers? Lasers energize things. And that stimulates the cell to start to get back on track with doing what it does. Yes, certainly. There's infrared in here. In there, yep. It's got all the lasers we've ever made have infrared. They have, yep. Infrared lasers, not infrared technology, different. Infrared lasers. Yeah. Deeper seated things. You want to use, the infrared's great for scar tissue. Thick scar tissue, deep intrinsic scar tissue, hernias. Why? Because it sends in a stronger beam further into the body. Knee injuries, disc injuries. Dental situations, bone loss. We had someone tell us they used the infrared laser on a cavity they wanted to see. They kept doing it in between dentist visits, and dentist said the cavity went away. Lastly, the violet probe. Violet is one I use a lot when I'm working on my field. The violet probe, from my perspective, is the most inclined towards alchemy. I often do it on Unity, although it feels great on all the programs. It's particularly good for facial rejuvenation. Studies, a lot of FDA studies and devices claim it's good for acne. It's very good for scar tissue and blemishes and wrinkles. It's very good for dental situations. Violet light's antibacterial, so it's good for, of course, acne and dental situations. Great for the nose. Profoundly good for alchemy. This is mostly what I use when I do work up around the nose. Really good off the body, on the chakras, the meridians. Good for lymph. Yes, violet light is. Violet lasers are not. I'd like to have violet lasers in the main unit, but it'd be expensive. The unit would be a lot more expensive. The violet lasers are very expensive. So if we put them in, it'd be, you know, another $3,000 extra. So, yes. Yeah, the violet would be great. Anything skin and the violet light's really good for it. You know, that's a good question. It's a good question. I would you have all of them? Yeah? I would start. I would try the red one. First, try the red one. And just see, you know, check in with your field. If your field opens, you know, I can't say this enough. When I do these protocols, I'm using my field. I'm not saying, oh, I think the red one is the best for this, because I said earlier that red is for skin. I'm never doing that. When I go through, I act like I don't know anything, because I'm not thinking. That's right. It's easy. That's right. The essence of this protocol is that this is easy. You know, if you don't know a lot about this, welcome to here. This is where you belong. Really, come right in. You'll be at home here. So when I go, you have stretch marks, you have something else. Hey, here's like 10, 15 things you can do. You got the programs, you got the main unit, you got the other ones. Try. The only thing that I am is persistent. I try a lot of things in life. I'm constantly trying things. Why? Because I want to partner with the next moment. You know, the only thing we know for sure about life is that, in the body, is that it's going to be different in a moment. We're about to have a different moment. And so from a health perspective, my objective, my goal is to partner with that. I want the next moment to be one of, you know, to me health is real simple. You know, next moment have less energy, degeneration. If the next energy has energy, regeneration. And I don't just mean regeneration for the body. I mean regeneration in the universe and beyond. And so from my perspective, I want next moment to have a lot of energy. So any situation you're dealing with, drop into Stillpoint, drop into the quantum field, pick one of them, put it on, and use that mechanism we did earlier. Just check in. Do you feel the body going like this? If I check quick. I check, you know, within a minute. I've decided if it's the right program for me in that moment. If I don't feel my field going like this, I'm done with it. I take it off, I turn it off, I go to the next thing, I try it. I might try the red probe, I might try the violet. As soon as I feel my field start to go like this, that's what I do. See where it wants to bring you. I tell you, people so often, we're going to get into this tomorrow, so often pick their choices of what they do every day with up here. I love the days when I can kind of say to the quantum field, okay, you steer what's happening here. You guide me on a journey. Those are real blessings. Y'all did really good today. It was I can't believe there's some new stuff I really am excited to cover this weekend. And we went through a lot of stuff today. We went through like 2 days worth of stuff today. Really a lot. So be easy. Don't push too hard. We're going to have an easy night tonight. Not too long. It might be warm, so we're going to have easy night. We have some new things to give out and to share with y'all. Tomorrow we're going to, again, I don't want anyone to push too hard. Whatever's going on in your lives, if it's coming up right now, if something's coming up, just welcome it. Thank you. All right, good.